Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive with us. Today we're going to be looking at something pretty interesting: AI chips.
Oh, yeah, this should be fun.
Yeah. So, to be more specific, we're going to be looking at Amazon and whether they could actually challenge Nvidia in this whole AI chip market.
Interesting.
Yeah, and we're going to be basing this deep dive mostly on this Financial Times article that came out recently. It's all about Amazon and what they're planning.
Makes sense. Amazon's making some pretty bold moves, investing a ton in their subsidiary Annapurna Labs to, develop these AI chips themselves.
Wow. So they're going all in on this. It's a big change, right? I mean, we're used to Amazon, being like the giant of e-commerce and
Yeah.
AWS, obviously, like cloud computing, even streaming. But now they're diving headfirst into chip manufacturing. That's a whole other world.
It is, yeah. And what's really interesting is what this means, beyond just Amazon. It could be way bigger than just Amazon using these chips themselves to, rely less on NVIDIA.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, so like if they actually pull this off, they could actually start supplying chips to other companies.
Wow.
Yeah. Imagine that. Amazon going head to head with Nvidia in this market that's just exploding right now because of AI. Think about ChatGPT and everything.
Okay, so hold on. Let's say they actually do this.
Sure.
Let's say Amazon does become like a major player in AI chips. What does that even mean for AI as a whole? Like, we're talking about the actual hardware here.
Right. Huge implications. Like potentially it could make AI way more accessible. Like imagine smaller companies, startups, even just individual developers having access to powerful AI tools,
No, no,
not
no.
just huge
Okay,
corporations.
but let's be real. Can they actually dethrone NVIDIA? I mean, NVIDIA is like the name in AI chips right now.
Yeah, Nvidia's been on top for a while, especially since this whole AI boom started.
Right.
But you have to remember, Amazon has a history of like disrupting things. Like they weren't the first in e-commerce or cloud computing or even streaming, but they like climbed to the top in all those areas.
That's true. They do have a way of just dominating. Plus, they have some serious advantages going into this. Like their cloud computing infrastructure, AWS, is massive.
Oh yeah, AWS is huge. That existing infrastructure and their customer base could give them a massive advantage. Think about it. They could just seamlessly integrate these new AI chips into AWS and offer them to all their clients.
That's smart. So, like, if we think about Amazon's whole business model, how could they use that to their advantage in this AI chip market?
Well, they're strategic. Amazon's playing the long game here. They're willing to put in the resources if they think it's important for the future, and they obviously think AI is important.
Yeah, for sure. And they're already using AI like everywhere in their own operations, logistics recommendations, Alexa, everything.
Exactly. So developing their own chips would give them even more control over all that. They could innovate faster, maybe even lower their costs significantly.
Wow. It's like a whole ecosystem within their existing ecosystem. But here's the thing. The stock market seems pretty chill about all this.
Yeah, it is kind of surprising.
Like the Financial Times article said, there were these tiny little dips in Amazon and Nvidia's stock prices, but nothing major.
Yeah. Almost like Wall Street's just kind of waiting to see what happens. Like they're still saying Nvidia's strong buy. Their price targets are still high.
So they're not convinced yet that Amazon can really shake things up, at least not right away.
Right. It's like they're acknowledging the potential, but not freaking out. And honestly, that makes sense. Chip manufacturing is complicated. It takes a lot of money. Even with all of Amazon's resources, it's going to take time for them to catch up to NVIDIA's experience in tech.
Okay, so what if Amazon pulls it off? What if their chips are amazing? How would that affect share prices down the line?
That's the big question. If Amazon starts taking market share away from NVIDIA, oh, things could get interesting. NVIDIA's stock could drop while Amazon shoots up. But again, we're talking long term here.
Right. Amazon's all about that long-term vision. They're not afraid to wait if they think the payoff will be worth it. So if you're watching this as an investor, be patient.
Yeah, don't make any sudden moves based on like daily news. The real story will come out over time as those chips hit the market and we see how they actually perform. It's a wild story when you think about it. So many things could happen.
Yeah, for sure. And we've talked about like the potential upside for Amazon. But what about the challenges?
Right.
Like building a chip operation from scratch. That can't be a walk in the park, right?
Oh, absolutely not.
Uh,
It's not like setting up another online store. This is chip manufacturing. It's incredibly complex, a ton of money involved.
yeah.
They need the best people, the absolute cutting edge facilities, and the global supply chain is like a whole other beast. Even for Amazon with all their resources, this is going to be a huge challenge.
Yeah. And they're going up against the company that's like already the king of AI chips.
Mm.
NVIDIA is a giant.
Exactly. NVIDIA's got years of experience, The relationships with customers and partners, Amazon's gonna have to work hard to catch up.
This is like a classic David and Goliath story,
Mm.
but like in the world of tech with billions of dollars on the line.
Haha. Yeah. Good way to put it. But hey, remember, Amazon's got a knack for disrupting things. Look at e-commerce,
Yeah,
cloud computing, streaming. They weren't the first in any of those, but they became the leaders.
that's true. So it's a huge challenge, but maybe not impossible.
Yeah.
What would success even look like for Amazon in this whole thing? Do they have
Yep.
to like completely destroy Nvidia to be considered a major player?
Well, success could look like a lot of things. Like, yeah, becoming the absolute leader is one option, but they could also find a niche, maybe focus on specific parts of the market.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like chips that are perfect for AWS, their cloud computing stuff, or chips made just for certain types of AI.
So they don't have to be number one overall to make a difference. Just being a real alternative to Nvidia could change things.
For sure. Even if they're not the top dog, just having them in the mix could make things more competitive, maybe even lower prices. Ultimately, it's good for consumers if they have more options and more affordable AI.
Right, because in the end, it's about making AI more accessible to everyone.
Exactly. If this whole competition pushes both companies to innovate and make things cheaper, everybody wins. Anyone who wants to see AI grow and become more widely used.
Okay, so let's zoom out for a sec. What does all this mean for the future of AI in general? This isn't just about Amazon and Nvidia, right?
No. This is about the technology that could change everything, like potentially revolutionize so many industries.
Yeah, it's already happening. Healthcare, finance, transportation.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
And advancements in AI chips will directly affect all that. So if Amazon becomes a major player, they'll have a big say in how this all plays out.
So it's mind-blowing to think about what could happen.
Uh-huh, yeah. But it's exciting too. We're living through like a tech revolution, and Amazon jumping into AI chips is proof of that. It's almost like, remember the early days of smartphones? Apple versus Android.
Yeah, great analogy. Maybe we'll see the same thing happen with AI chips. Just constant innovation because of that competition, always something new.
It's definitely possible. And just like with smartphones, the real winners will be the people who use this tech. More powerful AI devices and services that don't cost a fortune.
Okay, but let's not forget, Amazon is a business, and businesses are about making money.
True.
So what do you think is really driving this? Is it all about market share and profits? Or is there something more strategic going on?
Probably a bit of both. The market for AI chips is huge. Of course, Amazon wants a piece of that, but I think there's more to it.
Like they're thinking long-term, AI domination.
Exactly. If they control the hardware that runs AI, they have more control over the whole system, from chip design to software to cloud AI services. It's kind of like how being the leader in cloud computing with AWS gave them an advantage in offering all these other AI services.
So it's not just selling chips, it's becoming the AI company.
Right. They want to be at the center of it all, controlling the tools and the foundation those tools are built on. That's a powerful position.
Wow, yeah, this is way bigger than just a new product launch. This could be a total shift in who controls AI.
Huge implications for sure. It'll be fascinating to see how this plays out in the next few years.
All right, so let's talk money. What does all this mean for investors? What should they be watching for as this whole Amazon Nvidia thing plays out?
Well, definitely keep an eye on those stock prices. We mentioned those little dips in Amazon and Nvidia's stock earlier. Might not seem like much, but could be a sign of things to come, you know? Like investors getting a little jittery as the competition heats up.
So those dips could be like a warning, an early sign of a bigger trend.
Exactly. Investors are always trying to predict the future, and even small changes in the market can give you hints. But remember, this is going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight.
Right. Even if Amazon's chips are amazing, it'll take a while for them to like really grab market share.
Exactly. Developing chips, manufacturing partnerships, customers, all that takes time. Patience is key for investors. Don't panic and sell just because you see a little dip or jump on something because of a headline.
Don't make rash decisions. Got it. What about those earnings reports? What should we be looking for in those?
Oh, earnings reports are full of juicy info if you know how to read them. For Amazon, check out their capital expenditures. Specifically, anything that has to do with chip development and manufacturing, that'll tell you how much they're really putting into this.
Okay. And for Nvidia?
Look at their revenue. Are they starting to lose customers to Amazon? Is their market share shrinking? That'll show up in their earnings reports. Sometimes you got to read between the lines. But those financial statements can tell you a lot about what's really going on.
It's like being a detective. using those earnings reports and the stock market movements to figure out the bigger picture.
Huh. That's a good way to put it. Numbers tell a story, and if you can understand that story, you can get them real insight into what's coming next.
This has been super helpful. Like, I feel like I understand this whole situation way better now.
Glad to hear it.
But like you said earlier, this is just one piece of a much bigger story. The whole AI landscape is changing so fast.
Right. And it's only going to get more interesting. Just got to stay curious, keep learning, and explore the things that get you excited.
Couldn't agree more. Well, folks, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Amazon's AI chip venture. It's a story that could change everything, and we'll definitely be keeping an eye on it.
Before we go, one last thought. Think outside the tech world for a second. What other industries could be completely changed if Amazon becomes a major force in AI chips?
That's a great question. I mean, could we see Amazon's AI chips in healthcare, transportation, even space exploration? The possibilities are huge, and that's what makes all this so exciting. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
It's been a blast.
And as always, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the topics that matter. See you next time.